Hi guys, my name is Abigail. Ajuma, you can call me Abby or Abs. Today we are at the Red Table podcast. And I always say we're just here to have a good conversation. Nothing too serious, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to get to know you, get to know the industry a little bit more, what you do. And I have this habit of letting my guests actually introduce themselves because I feel like I don't do justice, right? Because you have you are at liberty to say anything and everything you want to say to us in terms of your introduction. So I can give it to you.
My name is Lujang, or Lujang Dinyangos, or depends on how long you've known me. But Lujang is fine. Yeah, Lujang is fine. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you
so
for having
much
me.
for creating the time.
Thank you.
I am very excited to be doing this with you, to be hosting you, and I'm sure our viewers would really love this as well.
Yeah.
So we'll just jump straight into it. We're here because first thing, well, you are many things, but you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanna first, I think we're talking about it already, but understand, like, how did you know you are an artist? Like,
I think, let's answer it in this way. An artist cutting across just as an artist, not even music, Growing up, I would connect so much with art, even drawing. I was actually the best in my class. And same in high school, actually, even was the best in my class doing art. So I was very creative, to speak in that way. Like, I would express myself. I was an introvert, but when it comes to like actually sports, art, and just the creative element, that's when I like come out in my element. After that, I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you. So I think I got to know that when I think high school, I suppose.
okay.
Because when anything creative is happening, the drama, how do you call it, dancing,
The dancing.
that's when I come to life. I'm like, I want to, be part of it. That's I think when I began to realize this is my element.
Like this is you're built for this.
Yeah, I'm made for this.
Is your thing.
I didn't know if I would really pursue it later, but I'm
Yeah.
I feel good around here.
Do you feel like you had like a supportive and environment? Because you're saying, like you really came into it when you were in high school, right?
Yeah.
And I think like what I see from, let's say, like Western countries, for example, like kids start doing this when they're young, right? So then they get to know, like they can even actually identify themselves as artists
Ali.
from a very young age, right? Like you talk about China and, like them playing piano, you talk about, I don't know, you name it, right?
Yeah.
But do you feel like you had that supportive environment in your earlier stages?
Like from high school, you mean?
Or even like...
earlier.
Yeah, earlier on. Yeah.
Good question. I think I did. Because naturally, both of my parents were musical, right? So like there was a natural support system without them even knowing, like, this guy likes this. So I grew up, my mother played the guitar, and then later I discovered my father also plays. I'm like, wait, what? We're a cool family,
Cool parents,
because he was an engineer. So I was like, nah, this guy, no, he's not coming down to our level. He doesn't roll like that. Then one time, so I went to this youth camp, and then that's how I think I saw a fellow young person playing guitar. I'm like, no, you're playing and I can't play and I have a guitar at home. No, it can't, I'm supposed to be the one showing you. Anyway, so long story short, that inspired me. I'm like, I'm gonna learn it because I've seen a young person like me playing. So to answer your question, there was a support system and also playing music around the house. I think something I've come to discover the older me, I realized that music was one of the ways my dad would relax and just his therapy.
Like unwind
because whenever he was home and just chilling, there'd be music every time.
Wow.
So I was like,
that's profound.
Exactly,
That's
and
really
I didn't even know that. I was like, he's just playing music for fun. But later, I'm like, this is how he unwinds actually.
Do you unwind the same way now?
Imagine. Come to think of it,
Yeah,
I don't even think about it. It just happens. There's always like music in the background when I'm in the house. It's like maybe those YouTube things where there's like fire and then some jazz playing. Exactly. So I think something I adopted. I didn't even know I'm taking it from him.
That
so,
way, right?
yes.
I think that just really brings in the power of like the environment that we stay in, right? Like we consume and we absorb a lot of things from our parents.
Yeah, true.
And just maybe piggybacking to what you said that you didn't know that you were gonna do like music or art in the future.
No idea. Yeah.
What do you think like? How does it like? What do you think you needed to be able to like continue the art part? Like, what stopped you from like now you're in high school, right? Like, what stopped you from just continuing, like the dancing or the singing or the playing, instrument? Where's the disconnect? So that
yeah. Yeah, like I said, whenever I was around those environments, I'm happy. But then there was also a situation home where I need to top the class. You get? So naturally in my mind I'm like, hey, so these guys are not about me becoming this person playing music.
Like those two are mutually exclusive.
They're like, yo, what do you give us your results? Like, what are you doing? You know? So there was naturally pressure. I need to perform, which means if I'm supposed to be performing, which means they don't expect me to be a creative.
I see.
They're expecting you to be a doctor or an engineer or something. Because you're talking your class for what?
That's
you get?
true.
You're talking your class doing math, doing physics and everything. Not to be a dancer.
Right?
Not to do podcasts.
Right?
But here we are.
Yeah.
So, I think they didn't tell me, but I'm like, hey, okay, I see the pressure. The pressure is increasing.
Right?
Yeah, you take
class. Is the pressure increasing or decreasing?
So I was getting the pressure. It was increasing as I was getting. I was like, no, this guitar business. It's not supposed to be where I'm headed. So I think it was up until some point when I began doing worship in church. Then they're like, oh, church is okay.
That's fine.
It will keep him in line.
That's soft.
That's okay.
Soft landing.
Yeah, we don't need him messing around.
Yeah.
Getting us unwanted kids. But if he's in church and he's playing music for church, he will keep him. It will keep him.
We can accept
that. We don't have to talk so much. He will stay in. So they didn't know. Also, church was shaping my musical ability. Also, because church gives you the platform, right? And also gives you the space to make mistakes.
True.
As a musician, and then later on I think I got my musical education from there. Fast forward, I began to lead music in church, and then I think now they're like, hey, this guy is taking it too seriously.
A bit too seriously.
But like, no, but it's church, it's okay,
so it's
fine. So but long story short, now after church, now I would start doing my gigs on the side. You get events at some cafe. I'm doing some, I didn't tell them that. No one knew that. Nobody. I mean, I wasn't sinning, but I was making some money,
Yeah.
So somebody had opened a restaurant, some friend of a friend. So then it's like, I know this guy, he can play. Just come and play in the background. So I'm not gonna sing for the devil, right? So I'm just gonna play.
That's what it was to you. Like you had grown up doing music in church.
Exactly.
Like, I guess outside the church kind of music.
Yeah, I'm like outside the church. I'm like, bro, there's alcohol, there's drugs. I don't do that. No. You just be in the background.
Yeah.
You just play. You don't even have to open your mouth. Just play some nice things in the background, and then they'll pay you. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Okay. So I began doing that. Before you know it, I'm like, no woman, no cry. Okay. So now, I think it grows on you. It's not that it's a bad thing anyway, but I think I grew up in a culture where you're not supposed to sing about love. Love is, I mean, church is. Yeah. That's how it is normally.
Love for God, you're love.
I think it's up until maybe the
recent. Love,
exactly. You're supposed to, if it's love, it's God. Period.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's it.
People get married, but there's a church I think I was in back in the day where even at the wedding you sing worship songs, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. So worship, even at reception, you like okay, they'll just play maybe like background instrumentals during the reception,
Yeah.
but a Christian artist singing love songs
Is
was because that's what I consider myself. I'm Christian, but I also believe love is a gift from God. That isn't a way we express, ourselves. So I don't know if I've gone away from the question, but I feel like I've given you more than you can chew.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish that you didn't have to then, like, not necessarily hide, right? Like once you are now starting to veer off the church a little bit, do you think, like, do you ever wish that you could have just like maybe one day just, like at the dinner conversation, just be like, oh dad, actually I got a gig. Like, do you think that,
I wish.
do you ever wish
Yeah.
for that?
Because, it's my mother who actually just discovered that I'm doing some things because she's very intuitive.
Very intuitive.
Yeah, and she's like, this guy is coming a bit late home. So I think I kept coming late home for several weeks. And then at some point she just like, if you come late, I'll leave the key.
Ow.
I'll leave the key
Like
there.
that was her way of supporting
Yeah, supporting
you.
me. It's like,
Silently.
it's okay. Yeah, are you
Oh,
okay?
I
Are you
love that.
safe? Just make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
That thing melted my heart. I was like, she actually loves me.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my dad or, she just knew okay, I was even fearing my mom to tell her that, obviously.
Yeah.
But she discovered that on her own. I think my sisters whispered to her something. This guy is, making some extra money on the side, doing some gigs.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're called gigs. Okay. So,
Okay.
long story short, I wish I grew up in a space where I can just tell them, hey, I'm this guy now. I can sing for you. Tell me what But I didn't. Yeah, she discovered on her own, which I think I'm glad she discovered, and she's like, oh, this guy is also. He's not asking me for any money because. From that time, I don't think I asked her for any money.
Because you're getting
Yeah,
your
it's
own
like this guy
money
no longer asks me for money.
Yeah.
He's no longer asking for pocket change for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Looks like this thing is working for him.
He's alright.
He's alright. So I'm like, okay, if you can take care of yourself,
Yeah.
I think I support you. Just don't come too late, past 12.
Because now she still has to be a mom.
Yeah, exactly.
She still has
Actually,
to
it was
be a
11.
mom.
11, 10, make sure
That was
you're
her
home.
curfew for you.
Yeah, and she'll stay up. I love her. Like, she'll stay up, I find her praying, right? She'll be praying or watching someone on the TV and praying like, God, and then she'll be like, you're home, okay, then let's pray. Then oh my God, so like I think she supported me indirectly.
Indirectly, yeah. And I don't know, like there's something to be said about our mother's prayers, right? And I think just going back to the point that like a lot of us Africans, like we don't have that overt support, right? Like you, for example, your mom was like, okay, let me just let him do his thing on the side. That in a way for us it's still support. It's not like the one that you're like, okay, I'll take you to your music gig type kind of support.
Of course, never.
Right?
It's like, what are you singing again?
Child.
So, my child.
Right?
You want to confuse other people. Anyway, yeah. So.
You mentioned a sister. Is your sister musical as well?
Most of them are. Okay, I have 4. so yeah, they are, but I think it's not their thing. But they are. So yeah.
I see that. I see that. So then, like chronologically, right? So it started with the church, and then you started, like one leg out, go.
Yeah.
And then when did you have that like clear split of where like now you veered off from the church, and then went to sing outside the church fully?
Yeah.
Did you have that transition?
No, I don't think I ever did because I still go to church and I still went to church even I was doing my gigs and my shows. I still went to church, so because it's one thing that keeps me still grounded in a way.
Right.
So I still maintained that. So I don't think I had a like grand transition of like I'm done with you guys, so I'm on my own now.
Nice.
No.
Yeah.
I still do go to church and I still like uphold some values as a person,
Right.
that were, instilled in me, back then. Yeah. So I still haven't made that grand
Like
transition.
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't that much difference, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
one outside.
No, I think
the
people
other.
should normalize,
Mhm.
and I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. People should normalize. I'm a Christian, and I'm a creative. I'm a Christian, and I do podcasts, and we talk about different topics.
Different topics.
I talk about life. I'm a musician, and I can play instruments for, say, a secular artist.
A secular artist.
I'm making my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may not agree with everything he's doing,
Of course.
his lifestyle or anything, but I'm working. I'm a Christian, and I work for a secular corporate organization, and
Yeah.
so sometimes I think people need to have that conversation where you're not living who you really are, but you're just earning a living.
A living.
Yeah.
You're earning a living.
As long as it's not changing who you are.
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
So then talk to me about the first performance that you had, because I think you said you started with just playing in the background. Talk to me about the first time that you played for people, or maybe sang for people. How was that like?
The first one was not even impressive. Let me not lie. The first one, I think I was too shy. I was like, I was. Can I tell you? The guitar actually fell. Come to remember clearly.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so tensed. Then the guitar strap had an issue. So when you're tense, you don't even check some things. So I didn't check if I'd put the strap properly on the guitar. I was like, okay, let me go.
Yeah.
So the guitar fell. It was so embarrassing. So I'm glad I can actually talk about it
Yes.
these days.
If you were there that day.
I was hoping the ground would open, and I just swallowed me, and I never come back on the planet again.
Wow.
It was so embarrassing. So I didn't know, should I stop the music? Should the music stop? Should I collect the guitar first? Should I?
It's a lot at once,
Yeah,
right?
a lot at once. So it was very embarrassing. The first moment, I was like, actually, it's a sign from God. I should not do this music thing. God is sending me a message.
Subliminals.
5 days later, I'm like, what song was it again? So
because it's
yeah.
what I'm picking up is it's inside of you. You can't really stifle it.
You can't help it. You can't help it. Yeah.
Right.
You can't it's running to you. You're not running.
You're running to it.
Yeah.
No.
It's not like you're not running to it's running. It's coming to you. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So that was the first experience.
Yeah.
And so then after that one you still went back to it, right? Did you have a conversation with yourself? You're like, okay, this is just things that come with it. How did you feel afterward? I mean, you just said that maybe you wanted to not continue, but then you still went back to it. Do you think it was let me phrase my question. It wasn't enough to stop you from doing it, right? It was just a first time guitars type thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie, for the first few days after that happened, I put everything aside. I'm like, guitar there, I'm here. This thing is not meant for me. Let me reprogram. The universe is telling me something.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that's how I felt for a few months, I would have put it on the side.
But it was just a days thing.
A days thing later, I'm playing, I'm feeling good about it. Like, okay. So I think that what happened made me do things now less tensed. Because I'm like, if I'm tensed, it's going to affect me. So if I'm coming to perform or do anything, music related, prepare. So I'm like, what do I have to do to prepare adequately? So prior preparation, that's why even up until now, whatever I'm doing, even if it's not music, I need to prepare. I ask myself questions like, what are the things I need to make this work?
Right, the things in your control.
In my control.
The things that you can.
And you realize the things in your control are actually not too many. I just need to do a sound check. I just need to make sure, for that case, my strap was proper, and that's it. It I think pumped me to even propel me to prepare better. It's like, okay, You messed up because of a small thing, bro. Just think about logic. You know, it was a logical thing. Just you should have just prepared better. It's not like that's the end. Go back to it. And when I went, I told myself, if I go back and it happens again, it's now a real sign for real. But now I'm still here, so
it wasn't a sign, guys.
It wasn't.
It wasn't a sign. So that's like one challenge that you overcome. Maybe we can also talk about like generally what other like some challenges that you know in your career that you've encountered, and sort of like how have you been able to overcome them?
So the challenges are quite a lot. Personally, I'll speak as like personally. It's first finding your sound, like what's unique to you. I think not every person, the audience, the recipients of what you're putting out, they don't know these struggles, they don't know these things that you're going through, right? So the struggle of a creative is like whether you're a painter, you want to find your niche, something that is unique to you, you know? So even for like singers, you want to find your sound so that you don't sound like everybody else. Something unique. You're not trying to make all upbeat songs like everyone or club song like for me in particular. I call my genre R&B. Like it's not R&B, it's like Arabic, then rhythm and blues.
Okay.
ARA, you know? So that's now me
like a niche you've created.
After I found myself this not even too long recently, you know, when I'm like, this is my sound, I'm mixing these sounds, and my songs are very real and, you know, smooth. I'm not like the club banger sort of genre. It's great. I have no issue with that, but mine is something you can play in your lounge, something you can play with your family, because I don't have any cuss words in my music, like something for the family, and everyone is okay with it. So the struggle of finding yourself, finding your niche, your sound, then also you're like, okay, you found, now will they accept it? Will they embrace it? So that's also a challenge. And what can you do for them too? Because growing up, I think I would sing mostly in English, right? I'm like, okay, no, I need who are my audience, right? So if you grew up like in East Africa, then you're like, I can just speak English and I'm okay, right? But I'm like, okay, no, that's okay, I can do that. What can make me more unique? Because everyone sings in English, right?
That's true.
Pretty much, you know. What can make me more unique? I'm gonna mix my Arabic and English, even in the smoothness of it. So now that's me finding myself. Yeah, exactly. Now, and I'm embracing who I really am. And then you're like, now, okay, how can you generate income? That's another challenge from that, because even for say Spotify, YouTube, there's a particular number that when you reach, you need to hit with listeners for you to actually start making that money. Yeah. So before that happens, before you have like, I don't know, 30 million viewers or something, how are you gonna sustain yourself?
True.
Yeah, because my background is PR, right? That's what I studied, and I'm like, do I want to go back and do a 9 to 5? What am I gonna do? You know, those are the challenges that I faced, you know. But I'm not gonna say how I found a way out, you know, because but everyone's story is different. You'll find a way to if there's anything that COVID taught us was to have multiple streams of income, right?
True.
So you find a way to survive and make it work for you. So I also ventured into like modeling. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Commercial. Do I want a runway or so? That's art. It's still art, you know. So I'm like, hey, it's not far from the art. So there's a few challenges I can share with you. And then maybe because now I'm trying to. My sound is not only for South Sudan. I'm trying to make it like for anyone and everyone to hear it, even if they don't understand what I'm saying.
That's true.
Yeah, because that's why I blended the genres so that even someone in Japan can hear and be like,
enjoy it.
It's smooth and nice. I like it. But I want to get to know, so you will understand this guy is from a third world country But okay, so it I think it
Mm-hmm.
provokes your curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever I put out is intentional. Yeah.
Now I always say that there's a lot of like music is energy. That's why sometimes like you can listen to a song and you find yourself crying or you find yourself happy and you don't understand any word, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that is communicated through sounds or just the the composition of it and
Yeah.
how like there's an energy that is transmitted through music that
Yeah.
transcends like religion or
Yeah.
geographic location, whatever, so I think that I can resonate with that because I listen, for example, like you guys know about piano songs. No, you don't know what they mean,
Yeah.
but here you are.
Exactly. Like
You know?
the first time I listened to, sorry for cutting you, like
No, go
the you remember the Titanic movie, right?
Yeah,
I think I watched it when I was maybe 10 or 9
Oh wow.
or 8. I don't
Your
know.
parents
8
allowed
years.
you to watch it at that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
mine said no. It's not 14.
okay. I mean, I think I think there are parts where they told us to go to our room. Yeah, and then come back. Anyway, so remember the part when that emotional music, every time in my dreams, that's I see you, I feel you. So that the soundtrack, then there's I think a flute playing. Like I don't think I could understand English at that time, because growing up in writing and speaking Arabic, so I was like, I love this melody. So like it got me emotional.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like, oh, this is making me cry. At the end of the movie, we cried. So my
You
sister,
didn't cry.
yeah.
You have
I don't know if we're crying.
stone.
We're crying because I don't know, Jack died in the movie or who, but like that's the power of the melody.
Yeah.
And in music, there's where like there's sad melodies, happy melodies, and just also like melodies that are like in between, like confusing, So the melody you choose for the sounds you're trying to put out also affects
the.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Have you ever had a song and you're just happy?
I didn't. Yeah.
So it's very intentional.
So we were supposed to cry.
You're supposed to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a while ago when we started this, like we're talking about like how vulnerable that space is for creatives, all creatives in general. My question to you is, how have you been able to like strike that balance or feel comfortable with the vulnerability that comes with literally like putting yourself out there, right? This is my music. You've spent time, energy, money. So there's a certain sense of like vulnerability that's that goes into your artistry.
Yeah.
How have you been able to come to terms that that's something that is natural, and how do you think about the whole vulnerability?
Hey, let me just say this: living as a creative is a risk every day, every freaking day. Because if you do a 9 to 5, you're sure like end month, I'm gonna get something. That's why most creatives were like, no, let's supplement, let's get something on the side, let's do a 9 to 5. Then on the weekend we can play around with this music thing.
Yeah.
But hey, it puts you in a very vulnerable place because, first of all, because being in your element, you need time. Because if you can't make the time and you're working 9 to 5, then you're not gonna fully exploit your creativity. So also like speaking of vulnerability, for me, when I began like putting music out, I wasn't sure who my audience is. As like I said earlier, I was finding myself. So there's like, okay, now who is gonna really
Like
listen to me?
to you.
Because we come from a demographic, say in South Sudan, Arabic was for the longest time in schools, English was an additional language.
Okay.
I think it's up quite recent. I think a few years back when now English is the mode of teaching. Yes.
Oh wow.
So you're like, okay, I need to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, English and Arabic together, so that we have the guys even coming from diaspora back to the country,
True.
those who can express themselves in in both. So the risk was there because I'm like, hey, what if I'm not received also? Because nobody knew me, to be honest.
True.
Nobody knows you.
Yeah.
You're not trying to. It's such a risky thing, a vulnerable thing. Okay, I'm gonna be out there now. And then recently I put music video out, my first music video.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how are they gonna see me?
Is it like a do it scared type thing?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Because I think these are conversations that go in an artist's mind, whether whatever creative you are, because you're putting something out. That's what I think most creatives do. They create something, they put it out there.
They should have.
Whether even you're a photographer,
Yeah.
Someone's gonna judge your work, because they're gonna have my favorite photographer, my favorite artist. That's what the word even favorite comes from. Because not everyone likes you, not everyone's gonna like you, and that's a given.
Wow. Okay. Quick follow up. How have you been able to, like, have you? You just said you put your first music video out, right? Yeah. Did you look at the comments and like what do you do when you run into someone who, let's say, doesn't appreciate your artistry the way, basically that doesn't appreciate your
okay, thank
your
God.
work.
I think thank God I haven't really encountered somebody who, I just think, but you should expect it. When you expect it, someone told me, expect the negative, so that when it comes, you're prepared for it mentally. So sometimes I think when you're so used to the positive coming in, when the negative comes, they're like, how dare you?
You don't even
know me. So you become defensive.
Yeah.
But everyone is entitled to their opinion of you.
True.
It's like not everyone will like reggae music.
That's it.
But come to Kenya,
here we are.
love reggae. You see. So I think prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
So that you live out your fullest.
True, and then there's basically to not what I'm picking up is to not romanticize the entire process, right? Like it's just like with anything in life, really. You can get good, good comments, good publicity, and there's bad ones too, right?
Yeah.
Like I do fitness training, right? And let's say you put a video out there, and then someone just comes into the comments, they're like, oh, they, them, sir, they're like, this person, you're looking too muscular. So it's like you can't really satisfy everybody. But I think what gives me, for example, that comfort is knowing that I did it, from
a good place
of authenticity.
You're
authentic about the process. Maybe we can talk about what that music is for you now. Like where are you in the space? In terms of your,
where am I in terms of?
What you're creating right now, where you're kind of hoping to go.
So okay, I did there's a collaboration that happened. I did February this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that it's already out on YouTube actually. So that's, I think, a great milestone because he's an artist that people already know from back in the day. So did something with him. The Hafla song. That's quite something I can say I'm proud of. Then something that I put out recently, about 4 days ago.
Which, by the way, guys, it's amazing. I just watched it. It's so good. Yeah.
So Combo. Let me just explain briefly about Combo. So the script, like I was sharing with you earlier, the script is, I fall in love with the waitress, right?
You the way you did. You fall in love.
Yeah. So the script for the Combo, the script for the Combo video. So the idea is I fall in love with the waitress, right? So it's more like love at first sight. I'm hungry at the restaurant. I come in because I want to eat, right? And then I'm like, I want Combo because who doesn't love Combo in South Sudan? So Like I want mula combo, my asida. Asida is
chewing on chicken.
yeah, asida is ugali. So I want mula combo and asida. You have, and then she goes back, and then we're flirting with her. Then the boss comes. The boss of the restaurant comes in like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be flirting with the clients, with our people. Then, long story short, the boss comes, she, walk of shame, like I'm flirting with, So, and then later on she brings the food, I enjoy it, and I'm like, okay, so, you know what, girl? You're the combo that I've been really requesting. So how about I be the asida? So long story short, that's how the idea of the song is. That's okay.
I love the creativity behind it.
Yeah.
And that's all you you conceptualized it yourself, right?
Yeah. So I put the script together. So in that particular song, I was the script writer. At some point, I think I was also doing video direction of what I really want to see in the video, because sometimes I think the videographer doesn't know what you're exactly looking for. Your vision.
Yeah.
So you want to explain to him what you're looking for to achieve, even the colors that you want to achieve in the video, color grading and everything. So so
you're
that's
the
something.
stylist.
Exactly. I styled myself. I actually styled myself in the video.
Guys, I was asking him when I was watching the video. I was like, oh my gosh, kudos to your stylist. And he was like, yeah.
Actually, you're the second person to say that about the stylist. Someone commented on the video like a few days ago. So so I feel like if I had like 3 of me or 2, who do I need? Who do I need?
Clone yourself.
I'll just clone myself. Actually, I want to clone myself because sometimes I'm like,
genius.
I just want this person to do it exactly like how I want it, how I see it. Okay, so that's an achievement that I've done a few days ago. So check it out.
Yeah.
Then I've been actually I think my EP is ready. My album, not even EP. Album is out. Not out rather, is ready. So for the next couple of months, I think I am going to be putting singles out to compile into the EP. So like there's so much music which is ready already, like which is ready to be put out, and I'm so excited because
so you guys get excited for some.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that, and just I'm currently doing also a tour of Kenya. So we were in Lamu in May. Then this month, I was in Mombasa a few days ago. We did something in a Swahili pot next to the ocean, next to Fort Jesus. Such a scene.
Wow.
I excuse me. I used to read about Fort Jesus when I was in high school, Vasco da Gama, everything. So this time, man, I see Fort Jesus as soon as we got there. I'm like, you guys, you can go.
We're here.
I need to go and.
I need a moment.
So they left me like, because once you have a place, every time you're Kenyan, you have it. You have Fort Jesus here. They're not impressed by it. Like, I need to go see. So I went up right away. So anyway, I did it.
As a Kenyan, I've never seen, but here.
So I did something at a Swahili port that's next to the ocean. Such a scene. Then I'm gonna be in Nakuru, I think next month, August. Then there's something we're doing at the museum, I believe, with Alliance Française. So happening on 18th, you should come. Yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. I feel like my year is already planned out for me.
Planned out for you.
Yeah, it's not like I even had planned it anyway. It's just one thing led to another, and I really thank God for it.
I sense so much like confidence in your craft. Which is something that's very commendable. So congratulations for finding your space.
Thank you.
Finding your sound.
Yeah, thank you.
And I would speak now from the point of a viewer, right? Of someone who's consuming your art, right? It's yes, you might run into those like 1 or 2 people, whatever, but like to those people that you will not know the impact of your work fully, right?
Yeah.
But you can always like be assured that you're making impact with the kind of work that you do, because it's authentic, it's very raw, it's coming from a place of like like experiences, as you're telling me how you create your music.
Yeah, that's totally the way, because for me, up until the moment I got to a point where I'm like, I'm going to be so true to myself that no matter what anybody says or thinks, it won't deter me or mess with my journey. So once I got to that, I think I was just unshakable, even for myself. Sometimes you're the one shaking your own self. No one is trying to shake you. You're the one confusing yourself.
Others are just fine.
They're just fine. You're just like confused and unstable. So I think once I got to that realization, I guess I was like, this is me, and I found myself, and no one is gonna tell me nothing.
This is where we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be here. Right.
So that happened. I was just amazed. So I think for any creative, what I can say, find your niche, find yourself, and find the things that really push you when no one else is encouraging you to do it. Because if you're not self-motivated, okay, some people find it in drugs for sure. There's no problem. I'm not judging you, but I'm not saying anything. But I don't do drugs personally, but find that thing which propels you, even when no one is telling you that you're doing well. We like your music. Find that thing where you don't need the support is great, but even if it doesn't come, it won't stop you from making
like
it.
that external, like you don't need that external validation. Someone was saying that, like words of affirmation or validation only works once you actually believe about that yourself, right? So if someone says, like, oh, you're such a great artist, that's external validation. Right? But if you yourself,
but you know it yourself.
Do you feel that? Like, do you tell that to yourself all the time? So it's like it magnifies the impact if you already feel that.
It's just, I think, similar to saying someone dressed well, but deep down they probably already know it, that they're killing it, they look nice, they look beautiful. You're just affirming it.
Yes, it's an additional one.
Yeah, because how do you tell a girl she looks nice? Like, oh, I know, because she really knows it.
She actually knows.
She actually knows it.
Just people are being rude.
No, she actually does know it already. She took an hour making herself up. By the time she's coming out, after spending an hour, you're telling me I'm beautiful. Duh, like I am. What do you know? So like, it has to come from you so much that when they're telling you, but thank you.
But thank you. Thank you for noticing. I know like we might be winding up, but let's talk about like music in the context of like South Sudan, right? Where do you see like the role of music, or like what can you say to, first of all, let's paint the picture of, like the industry in South Sudan. What is it like, the music industry?
It's a young, amazing industry. We're a new country, first of all. That's something you should know. We're 13 years old. We're a young teenager, We're
recently a teen.
We just made 13, guys. Clap for us. So we're a young country, and young in all aspects, to be honest. If not all, maybe most aspects. So when it comes to music, we're still even finding our sound. Say Tanzania has what, bongo flavor?
Yes.
Kenya, I'm not sure still.
Kenya is like a mix of everything.
So we're still finding our sound, or the flag bearer of the sound of South Sudan. You get, say Tanzania, Diamond. You see?
True.
Anyway.
All Cuba fans, you can.
Exactly. No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So, but like
bongo, like we're young. The industry is young. So much talent. I mean, happened to me to be South Sudanese, so like I'm among the guys who are still pushing their craft. No matter what, we're still finding ourselves, finding our sound. So there is so much potential, to be honest. So much potential, and like every other day there's a new person coming up, and such a a scene to see, which is such amazing. I think we just need more platforms. We don't need to say come all the way to other countries for platform. You see, I think we need so many creative hubs and spaces. In South Sudan, I think we don't have as many. There is a Baobab, there's Seniors Hub. What else? There are very few spaces that intentionally support creatives. Not only artists, by the way.
Just creatives in general.
Creatives in general. So I think what I can say, the challenge I can give us as South Sudanese is, if we can have more of those creative spaces, even for if you're a dancer, if you're a,
True.
you know, like, if we have more of them, the better, because that's where the talents are going to be discovered.
That's true.
Yeah, because if you're gonna wait for someone to come from, I don't know, China to help you, you know,
wait.
exactly, they'll take it from you anyway. So yeah, that's my challenge. But it's such an amazing, I think, what a time to be alive, where you are part of writing the story.
And it's not a mistake that
It's
you're
not.
at this
It's not
time.
at all. Yeah.
It's not, yeah. Maybe as we now really wind down, like what's a piece of advice that you can, let's wind down like this. So a piece of advice that you can give to the young artists in South Sudan, right? And then you can also tell us like what we should be expecting. I mean, you kind of already did, but like in finalizing, what we should be expecting from you. Where we can find you.
Yeah. Okay. So. I'll speak also to myself.
Yeah.
You know, if you've discovered that you're good at something, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you know it for yourself.
You feel it for yourself.
You're the first person to approve your own self before even your best friend comes. Your best friend will support you, will support your decision, right? They don't know if it's right or wrong most times. Just they'll feel it. They'll have an intuition maybe, but most times you're your first cheerleader. So if you find out that you're good at something, even if you're not sure, at least explore it. Eventually you'll know like if this is for you or not for you. For me, it took me a while to know like this is I'm supposed to be doing this, you know. At least explore it. If you're a script writer, explore that. If you're good with, I don't know, gadgets, explore that. So you never know where life is pointing you at. So explore different things. That's what I think someone told me. Explore different things, and then you'll find what you're really good at. So if you want to try music, give it a shot. You never know. You know, you can be the next Jay-Z. You don't know. So explore that, and no matter. I think also something I tell my friends, because sometimes they're like, Michael Jackson began when he was like young. You know, it was what 8, 9, 10. You know, and
I was gonna make a dark joke, but let's not.
No, it's okay. So, like, there's never, it's okay. There's never a perfect time to start what you want to do.
Right.
You can start anytime, and you can start even in your late 40s.
True.
And maybe you're meant for a particular purpose and impact. You're supposed to do something that others will ride on. You just never know. Sometimes you're that person who's just probably opening the door or clearing the way, paving the way for others who are looking up to you. You never know.
True.
So just find what you're good at, perfect it, because I think the fates of so many other people could be lying on your decision that you're going to make.
Yes.
Just one small impact can change anything. So,
That's true.
and you asked, would you ask again? The second question.
Yeah. What should we be expecting from you?
Yeah.
Where can we find you? Any updates?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be releasing about 3 singles to the end of the year. 3 or 4 singles, because I'm now compiling my EP. Finally, I just want to give them like airplay for each of the songs. And I'm still doing a Kenyan tour at the moment. So up until maybe August or September. And you can, I have a simple name, Lujang, 2 vowels. It should probably be, I think it's one of the names which are going extinct in South Sudan. But they know it's a Equatorian name, Central Equatorian name, but it's not, I just know maybe like 2 people on social media called Lujang. So
the chances are high of you finding me.
The chances are high of you finding me. Lujang, you'll just see I probably look the same as I look on my social. So Lujang, let's connect. I'm someone who responds to my messages. If you text me, I respond professionally, of course. I'm not those people who I contact my manager. I'm just like you, to your level, and I'll meet you where you want me to meet you. So I'm talking about music, of course. So
Love the clarification.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, I think we can end there, but mine is to say thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Again, for creating the time, for being open to speak to us about,
Mm-hmm.
what music or art has been for you. I know it's like an opening
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So we don't take it for granted that you're sharing that space with us.
Mm-hmm.
And really, guys, like, go check him out on YouTube, as he's saying, a few singles are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Be an active supporter.
Mm-hmm.
Be an active supporter.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been your host,
Yeah.
Abigail.
Yeah.
You can find me on socials at Miss Ajuma on Instagram. I respond quicker there. So we can chat from there. I'm a personal trainer, as I said. But again, thank you. It has been Red Table Podcast. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.